Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. So we talk about sublimation quite a bit around here, and maybe you've been wanting to try sublimation but you don't have a sublimation printer. Well, I have a solution for you today. They are called WalaSub Sublimation Sheets, and I'm going to use this pattern, but there are several patterns and I have a couple more here, like a marbled pattern as well as a cute plaid. But I'm going to go ahead and use this tie-dye one today to make a shirt. Now, what are WalaSub Sublimation Sheets? Well, it's sublimation ink printed on a sheet of paper, and you purchase this from Heat Transfer Warehouse. I will have links in the description for everything I'm using. So if you are on computer, click Show More. If you're on mobile, click the arrow to expand the description or swipe up on the video depending on how you're watching. Now, these 11-inch by 12-inch sheets are sublimation ink printed on paper. You use them in combination with a mask, which I'm going to show you how to use them, and then you can put them on sublimation blanks. What is a sublimation blank? Well, you will need something with polyester content. So I'm going to use this shirt, which is 95% polyester, but you could also use something that has a poly coating, like a sublimation mug or a sublimation tumbler. Cut the sheet with your Cricut machine, then apply it to that surface. Let it react with that polyester content, and you have a permanent sublimation craft, all without a sublimation printer. So these are very similar to Infusible Ink sheets. However, I do find them easier to cut and easier to weed than the Infusible Ink sheets. So I thought I would do a product review for you. For those of you that have been looking to try sublimation, don't want to invest in a printer yet, and might not have had any luck with Infusible Ink sheets, you might want to give the WalaSub Sublimation Sheets a try. Now, I made this shirt, and I'm going to show you how to make it on the video. Again, you can make just about any sublimation craft that I've shown with these sheets, as long as you have your Cricut machine. So first, let's take a look at the supplies we're going to use and start making this shirt. For this project, we're going to use the WalaSub Sublimation patterns. I'm going to use this tie-dye print, but you could use any of the patterns that they have. I'm going to use my Cricut machine along with my light grip mat and the fine point blade, so any Cricut machine will work for this. And then you'll need the Caesar Easy Mask or some sort of masking, and I'll show you how to use that in a minute. Protective paper. You may or may not need some heat tape, a lint roller, and then I'm going to put this on a shirt. Now, this is a 95% polyester shirt. You can put this on anything you can sublimate on. So any sublimation blank will work with this project. I'm just doing a shirt for demonstration purposes, but feel free to put it on a mug, tumbler, whatever you have on hand. So now let's take a look at the cutting process for the WalaSub Sublimation Pattern sheet. All right, so the WalaSub Sublimation sheets are like 11 by 12 if you trim off this white area, which we are going to do. But first, flip it over to the back. I want it to be ink side down on the table, and then I have the Caesar Easy Mask ready to go. So you will want to apply the Caesar Easy Mask to the back of the WalaSub sheet. I have it slightly unrolled. I'll start applying it on one side, keeping it straight. And it may help you to have something like a scraper to apply it down. So just press it with the scraper to remove any bubbles from your application. Then once you've applied the mask to the back, we can trim away all of this excess white around the outside edge, as well as any excess masking off the edges. And you can trim that either with a paper cutter or with just a pair of scissors. So then you'll just apply this ink side up to your mat, and I did end up trimming a little extra off here, so it turned out to be like 11.5 by 11, but I did trim a little bit more off the edge. So now it's ink side up, mask side down on the mat, and we're going to mirror our cut in Cricut Design Space so that it cuts mirrored, which will be important later. So now let's head to our Cricut machine and cut our design. So I'm using Everyday Iron-On as my setting, and the fine point blade is loaded into my machine. So now we'll just press go and watch it cut. Once it's done cutting, we'll just remove it from the machine. And now let's take a look at how to weed this material. So here's my page removed from the mat, and I went ahead and cut away the excess to use on another project. And here's our cut piece. So what we want to do is start weeding this. And what you want is a kiss cut. You do not want that masking on the back cut. You just want the front portion cut. So I'm just starting with a portion that was lifting up and just sort of removing everything with my hands. I would recommend doing this with your hands if you can at all and not using weeding tools. Then after you remove everything from the outside, start peeling up the centers of any letters or designs. For super, super small details, you might have to use a pair of tweezers or a weeding hook to dig those out. Now that the design is weeded, it's time to add it to our shirt. So let's take a look at that process. So I went ahead and added a pressing pillow as well as a piece of protective paper to the inside of my shirt. So the pressing pillow helps eliminate any press marks that can get on your polyester shirts. This is a 95% polyester shirt. Remember, you do need something with a polyester coating in order for the sublimation paper to react. And then I went ahead and pre-pressed this shirt. Then you add your design, ink side down onto your shirt. Now the Caesar Easy Mask is sticky, so it should hold it into place. If you feel like it's going to move, go ahead and add some heat tape in order to keep it from moving, because you do not want it to move in your press. Then I'm going to cover it with a sheet of protective paper just in case. I'm going to go ahead and press at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. You do want a medium to heavy pressure. The Cricut Easy Press should work as long as you press down as it's heating. I'm going to head to my heat press, go ahead and press this shirt, and then we'll come back and take a look at the results. You can go ahead and remove this while it's still hot, so I have my heat resistant gloves on. Then just peel back the masking, removing everything from your shirt, and take a look at your gorgeous design, all with WalaSub Sublimation Sheets. I did want you to notice just how much that color changes. So here is the sheet before pressing, and you can see how muted the colors are and how bright they are when we're done. All right, so I really think you can see just how easy it is to use these sheets to do your sublimation crafting. And I will actually link to the design I used below for this shirt as well. So if you want to use that specific design, even if you just wanted a SVG for your Cricut machine, I have that for you in the description below. So click there to get it. And again, do not be scared when you pull out the WalaSub sublimation sheets and the colors are super muted, because they will really pop after pressing, but they are muted when printed. So it's similar to sublimation print in that way. So hopefully that explained everything you ever wanted to know about WalaSub sublimation sheets. It is like a fairly new product. So if you're looking for like more patterns or designs, drop down in the comment section and let me know what you would like to see. I'm happy to pass that feedback along to Heat Transfer Warehouse. So let's get them to make more patterns if you really like this idea. And then you can use these sheets to do your sublimation crafts, even if you don't have a sublimation printer. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, drop those below. And if you haven't already, head to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos like this every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.